Hi, welcome to Stuck Part 7, Mother Loss in Your 30s, Feeling Guilt and Regret. If you've experienced mother loss in your 30s, do you feel guilty, alone, regretful, and maybe a little scared? If I haven't introduced myself to you, I'm Mary Ellen Collins, and I'm the founder of the Motherless Daughters Ministry. Each week, we'll be bringing you a short message that's connecting all of us together. Words of encouragement, knowledge from our 20 plus years of experience working with motherless daughters over the world, and lots of encouragement. What I want to ask you to do is if you're aware of other motherless daughters who have lost mothers in their 30s, please share this message with them. If this message is speaking to you, hit the like button. Let me know. Tag somebody if they should watch this video. If you lost your mother in your 30s, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts and your questions in the comments. We'll respond to all your comments. This ministry was created for you. We want to walk with you, support you, and to hold you in your healing journey. Just as a recap, this is part 7 of the Stuck series. So as a recap, let me just tell you that part 1 is age of loss and stage of emotional development, and that set us off. Part 2 is mother loss from 0 to 6 years old, and that has to do with trust issues. Part 3 is mother loss from 6 to 12, and these children or these women always wonder if it's their fault. Stuck part 4 is mother loss in the adolescent age. Stuck part 5 is the individuation process, and that's growing up is hard to do. Part 6 was mother loss in the 20s, and today we're going to be talking about, this is part 7, it's mother loss in the 30s. So to get started in the content and understanding, this age of loss brings with it the burdens of guilt and regret. See, it's a time, now it's time to explore if you lost your mother in your 30s, because the 30s is identified developmentally, as we were talking about, what are the developmental tasks? It's intimacy versus isolation. So we begin to share ourselves more intimately with others, and we explore relationships leading to long-term commitments with someone other than a family member. So successful completion of this stage can lead to really comfortable relationships with a commitment and safety and care relationship. But what also can happen if you get stuck at this stage is beginning to avoid people, fearing commitments. And that fear can lead to isolation, loneliness, and sometimes depression. So success in this stage will lead to love. But when a mother dies, when a woman is in her 30s, many women have shared it leaves them with the feeling of guilty, they feel very guilty, alone, they're very regretful, and they're scared. So you think about what life is like for a 30s woman. You've started out, or you're establishing your career. You are making your way in this world. Many times you've relocated away from where mother has resided. And that piece right there plays guilt because you think to yourself, I should have been there. If I had been there, it would make a difference. You may be developing intimate relationships. You may be choosing life partners. You may be starting a family, or you may be raising children already. But your 30s is a time of new roles, new priorities, more time demands, more commitment on your career, your employer, your significant other, your family, and on and on and on. And the 30s woman is stretched so thin. She's exhausted. And the mother-daughter role changes in this 30s with this 30s woman. That her role with her mother has transitioned. No longer is mother the most important priority in her life. No longer she's so stretched, so thin that she hardly has time for that mother-daughter relationship. This is where the guilt and the regret come in. Lots of what ifs and second guessing when a mother dies. The 30s daughter feels overwhelmed with guilt and regret that she didn't make time for mother. I had one woman tell me, now she's a 36-year-old woman who is a home based marketing consultant with 3 children under age 6. And she said, why didn't I spend more time with mom? I really wanted to. I was so busy with things, and now she's gone. The things were just not as important, but I cannot spend time with her now. She's gone. Another woman who was a 32-year-old single engineer said, there was just not room in my life for mother. I worked so hard, but I failed. And see, many women um, not only lose a mother, but the mother has played so many different roles with the 30s daughter. She may be a grandmother, she may be a babysitter, she may be a counselor, she's a listener, she's a coach, and on and on and on. So the loss of every one of these roles layers on additional grief and challenges. The daughter has to decide how she'll show her grief to her children. Many women don't want their children to see them cry. We must remember what lessons do we want our children to learn. We are role modeling to them how to react when we lose someone we love. If we choose not to let them see us cry, we may be sending them the message, you should not cry when you lose someone you love. Be careful. Be strong. In a later video, we'll talk about tips on how you can talk to your children when you've experienced the loss of your mother. Yeah, in some ways, this 30s woman is much like the 20s woman. She still needs mom in her life, but her life is so demanding, she needs mom to coach her with all the how-tos in life. So it's different than the 20s. The 20 is really striking out on their own. And they need to have mom when they need to have mom, but only when they need to have mom. But the 30s daughter really needs mom in her life. In closing, one woman said, I need her. How will I know how to navigate the next steps without her? How do I grieve and be strong at the same time? Mom, what do I do? So my prayer for you as we end is for you to find peace, be centered, focus on knowing you're not alone. I pray for the peace of the Holy Spirit to surround you and bless you. If you've had mother loss in your 30s, do you relate to any of these examples? Share your stories. Reach out to those of us who've walked in your shoes. How does this play out in your adult life? Thank you for spending your valuable time with us. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next Monday. Goodbye.